welcome to another episode of The Little Radio Show. My name is Sandra Fernandez, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Juan Alanis and Angelica Casares, and we're bringing you small talk about big topics. Today, joining us is Blanca Quezada from the Houston Public Library, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the resources the library offers for students considering college and families who need help trying to get them there, and about two exhibits that they've got coming up this year, one about AstroWorld and one from Spain. In addition, we talk about this current trend that we're seeing of people who are selling up everything that they own and going on world trips, and what it is that we think that we would do, how we would react, and whether or not we think we're capable of doing the same. Just a reminder, you can catch us every week on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on hmsnetradio.org. Our show archives and the link to our iTunes and Stitcher channels are available at thelittleradioshow.com. If you've been paying attention at all, one of the things that you'll know about me, maybe or maybe not, is that I used to work for the Houston Public Library, and so it is with great pleasure that I am welcoming one of my former coworkers and very great friends to the show today. Blanca Quezada with the Houston Public Library is with us today to talk a little bit about some of the resources and features that they have at that library, and a little bit about some of the exhibits that they've got coming up in the next few months. Welcome, Blanca.
Hey, I'm really excited to be here today. Thank you for inviting me, finally.
So tell me a little bit about, I know that Houston Public Library recently rolled out a thing called Cafe College, and college and education is one of those topics that we go over again and again here on the show because it's very important to us. Tell us a little bit about that.
Definitely. Cafe College, Houston Cafe College really is right now in one location, and it's the Carnegie Neighborhood Library, which is in the near North Side area, 1050 equipment. And what we are offering are free services to help parents and students decide where they want to go to college, what career they want, what it takes to get to that college, financial aid if you need it, they'll help you find it, whether you want to get a degree or work on a certificate or a professional trade, they're there to guide you in every step.
So this is kind of like the counselors in the high schools.
Definitely, but a little bit more, because they will help you with SAT, ACT test. They will help you fill out applications. They have workshops, one-on-one advising. There's free Wi-Fi, college applications. And so, it's the whole gamut there.
So when you say they, is this the library staff that are doing this?
It's the Cafe College staff. Part of it is library staff, and part of it is the people with Project Grad Houston.
So these are people that is all they do at the library.
That is all that they do.
So let's say that I'm a parent and I've got a child who's a junior or a senior. We're trying to figure this out. Do I just come by? Do I make an appointment? No,
you can just drop by and say hi and start asking any questions you want. They're open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8:30 to 7:30 p.m., Fridays from 1 to 5, and Saturdays from 10 to 5. So they're open on hours where parents can come in because, of course, parents are always working. So, there's time available for parents to come in.
Fabulous. For our audience, we will be posting this information in the show notes on thelittleradioshow.com. So if that passed you by fast, don't worry about it.
Yeah, and you can always visit the library's website at houstonlibrary.org.
So can students come by themselves? Let's say mom and dad are really busy and...
Yeah, definitely. They can drop by and start asking questions, get their applications. But a lot of times, especially when it comes to financial information, it's always important that the parents are there.
Well, it sounds like a great thing. Now, this is an area with high Hispanic population. Are there people there who can help parents in Spanish?
Definitely, yes.
Oh, what a great thing. And so everything is free?
Everything is free.
Do they have to have a library card?
Not for Houston Cafe College, but of course the library has a lot of other resources online, and of course there's the books that are available, and ebooks, audiobooks that are free, and of course you have to have a library card for that, and that's the MyLink library card, and that's also free, and anybody can get that card. All you need is a driver's license or some kind of an identification card with your address and, of course, your name, and you just fill out an application and you get the card.
And if you're under 18, mom and dad have to sign for you.
Yes.
Yes.
And I would imagine it's not only the resources in the library, but you also have a lot of online resources, right?
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of online resources. We have what's called, since we're talking about college, we have something that's called Brain Fuse. Mm-hmm. And any student from elementary to college to students getting their GEDs can go on there and they can do the practice tests that they need or find out, again, information about how to get to college. And there's just people that want to learn how to get their citizenship. Just all kinds of information there.
So is BrainFuse, because I know that the library offers tutoring services.
Yes.
Is that the service through which you get tutoring?
Yeah, you get free homework help on that site. But, of course, you have to have your library card, the MyLink library card.
Well, so here's what I say. The MyLink just has access to everything. Just get it and you're good to go.
Everything under the world. It links you to the world,
Literally.
Literally. Yes, literally.
And I would say those are great resources, especially in a predominantly Hispanic community, because we know that, that's still an area where we need to do some work. So, to have those free resources, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, and there's 2 schools around the Carnegie Neighborhood Library, but of course, everybody's welcome to come to Houston Cafe College. It's not just for the Hispanic community. It just happens to be in that area because, we had the space available, but it's available to anyone and everyone that is a student or is a parent that needs information or just ask questions. So
no, we say this over and over on the show that even if college isn't for you, some sort of post high school training and education is really, really necessary.
Right.
So this is a great thing, especially for some of these families where the kids who are considering going to college might, in fact, be the first in the family to go. And they don't know how to navigate the system.
Exactly. A lot of times. And then sometimes they don't speak English, so they don't understand, like you said, how to navigate the system. They don't know where to begin and what's right, what's wrong, and even the type of questions to ask.
Well, that's great information, Blanca. And I think that for our listeners who aren't in Houston, I'm sure that the libraries around the country provide the same type of service,
or something similar, at least.
So it's a great resource always to have in mind. And I think nowadays we sometimes forget that the libraries are there, but
it's our biggest resources. We do forget that it is our biggest
Definitely,
resources.
It's a huge treasure of information.
Yeah.
Now, the American Library Association every year posts this one statistic that in the United States there are more libraries than McDonald's. Wow. So there should be a library in your community that offers something. Even if they don't have something similar to Cafe College, they will have guides. They will have access to online services, and most libraries, especially public libraries, all of this is for free.
Yeah, and all of course, the librarians can also help you.
I was going to say
get that information.
I don't think some people understand that the librarians are well informed.
Very well informed.
Ask your librarian. Yeah, your front desk librarian.
Technology wise and otherwise, and so.
Yeah, you walk in asking for something in their hat. Like I think one time I walked in asking about a magazine. If they had and they're like, "Yeah, this is where you looking for this article." I was like, you know what's in the article, like what's in the magazine. Like they're very well informed. They're up to date.
And the Houston Public Library is huge. We have 42 locations, so there should be one in your area somewhere. So again, visit us, on the website if you have a computer at home. Mm-hmm. If you don't, you can use the computers at the library. They're
Do you
free.
Want to mention the website?
Sure, I'll mention it again. It's HoustonLibrary.org.
Awesome.
So, if you don't have a computer at home, you can also borrow a computer at any library.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays, you can do it on your phone.
Yeah, too, if you can.
Yes.
So
that is wonderful information, and it's great. And I know that if people go onto the website, they'll find out more about what kinds of features and services the library has going on. But I know that one of the things that always astounded me was the speakers and the exhibits that the library had going on.
Yeah.
And there's one coming up this year that I know that you wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, we are excited about the opening of the AstroWorld exhibit. And I know a lot of people, especially the younger generation, don't remember AstroWorld, but it was huge at one time. See, pretty much like the Astrodome. You know?
You said younger generation, and you started looking this way, and then you went the other direction.
Yeah.
I think it's very obvious. Yes. So, as you don't know, AstroWorld was an actual theme park here in Houston, who was kind of taken from us quite a few years back, and
it's kind of like Six Flags.
Yeah,
it was
part
Antonio.
of the Six Flags.
Yeah,
yes.
I have these very vivid memories of going to AstroWorld as a kid.
I don't have nice ones.
No,
but I love the memorabilia. Like I used to love their big old was it Bugs Bunny, and they had like
all the shows.
Yeah, and some of the storefronts that they had, they didn't really have much to it, but it was. At that age, it was absolutely amazing. Now, I have, like, bad memories on my own part. Like, my own fault. When I used to go on that Splash Mountain thing, whatever, and you would walk, like, you need to do that. When you go on water rides, please do it after everything else. Because if you do it before, what happens is you end up chafing, like, your legs. And you're sore and red.
Yeah.
I'm in, like, my thighs, nothing else.
But, I mean...
And then the crazy roller coasters that they had.
Yeah.
Well, my dad used to buy, my sisters and I...
Season
passes, obviously.
Yeah.
And, back, AstroWorld would have concerts. And if you were a season pass holder, you got to go to the concerts for free. Mm-hmm. And, we would go and we would pick 2 or 3 or 4 concerts over the summer. And those would be the days that we went to AstroWorld.
Like actual concert, like Backstreet Boys or like these kind of like actual.
Yes.
I think Selena even did a couple of gigs there at AstroWorld, if I remember correctly. I know she had.
Yeah, and so I saw the B-52s there, and a bunch of other artists. But since we had the pass, you didn't feel bad about going and just staying a couple of hours and leaving instead of having to pay and stay all day, which was great. But what is going to be?
No, I had to stay there all day.
And that's a part of Houston that was like, it was next to the Astrodome, which is no longer open.
It's Reliant,
AstroWorld. So
right.
But this is big. This is big for Houston, for the library to actually do that, because we have so many fond memories, and it's an awesome. I'm excited to know that there's an exhibit that the library is taking sort of homage to AstroWorld.
So what's going to be in the exhibit, and when can we expect to see it?
Well, as of now, we're going to have can't remember what the architects put together.
The blueprint.
It's more than the blueprint. It has
the miniature.
The miniature.
The
miniature.
So basically, it's like
a 3D type of thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And of course, photographs and other memorabilia.
But where?
The Julia Idison building, which is downtown, right across from. Yeah, it's a beautiful building.
So, is it a permanent exhibit?
It's going to be a permanent exhibit. It opens April 6th. Right now, that's when we're doing the unveiling, and of course, it's going to be a little reception and everything. And of course, it's free and open to the public. It's going to be at 6:00 in the afternoon, so everybody's welcome to come in. But right now, we're asking everybody to please share their memories of AstroWorld. They can go on the Houston Public Library's Facebook.
You know what? I'm going to initiate it. I'm going to go and share my memories.
All right.
I'm going to do it because it's awesome. That's awesome.
Or you can use the hashtag AstroWorld Memories and, share your memories of AstroWorld.
And now if you have an AstroWorld memory, hashtag AstroWorld Memories.
And we know you have one. We all do.
Yeah, we all do.
So not just share your memories, but prompt your friends to share theirs, because I'd love to see the library end up with a bunch of them.
Yes. And of course, again, you need to save the date. April 6th is the unveiling. And that's going to be at 6 p.m. And the Julia Addison building is located at 550 McKinney across from City Hall. It's a 1926 Spanish Renaissance building. So, yeah, it's gorgeous.
Now,
Awesome.
before we run out of time, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about the Spain exhibit.
Yeah, we do. We have an exhibit called Designing America, Spain's Imprint in the United States. And we're really eagerly awaiting the arrival of that exhibit. It's coming in from Washington, D.C. And then after it arrives here, it'll go back to Spain. So the exhibit will open April 14th.
Okay.
There's going to be a reception for that. And, of course, a lot of dignitaries will be there. And, of course, you'll be invited to that as well.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a free opening and reception for the community. The curators for that exhibit are going to be here. They are architects Juan Miguel Hernández León and Francisco Arquez Soler. And this exhibit is going to be an interactive exhibit. So it's presented by Spain Arts and Culture. And I think a lot of people are going to find it interesting.
What library is it going to be at? If it's interactive, I'm going.
It's at the Julie Addison building.
Also,
we have
yes.
a huge exhibit hall there.
Yeah, that I
So-
do. So you're going to have two exhibits running at the same time?
Yes, because the
Awesome.
AstroWorld is going to be permanent.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
then we have exhibits that come into the library every few months. So this exhibit will be at the Julie Addison building beginning April 14th through July 23rd.
Awesome.
Well, I know we could absolutely go for the next couple of hours talking about everything that the library has going on.
We didn't touch on hardly anything.
So instead of doing that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to invite you to come back.
Oh, definitely.
And maybe, in a month or so and tell
Yeah.
us about new stuff that's going on. Especially, I know people will be starting to plan for the summer and activities going on and talking about the summer reading program, which we'll do later.
Yeah, that kicks off in May.
That kicks off in May. Will all be great. So again, consider this your official invitation to come back.
I will take it. Thank you.
And do you have any parting words?
No, I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the services and resources and everything at the library are free, and that there should be a library in your area. If not, please visit our website at houstonlibrary.org to find a location near you.
And thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Little Radio Show on hmsnetradio.org. Would you just sell all of your earthly possessions or put them in storage somewhere, quit your job, and go and travel for a year?
What time do we leave?
For a year. I don't know if a year is enough to know that I have time. Like if I was to commit, I would want to commit, say, like 2 years.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I would.
So
I would.
Today's topic is the discussion of the fact that, and I don't know if this is for everyone, but I have in my life more than just a few people who have actually done this. And so I'm wondering, one, is this something that is more prevalent than I think? And two, whether or not this is something that I would do, and how would you go about it? So the first thing is the people. And so I know of a reporter. She quit her job and she went and she wanted to start becoming a travel writer. And the way that she did this is she just went and started traveling. And, she sold her car. She sold all of her big possessions. She gave up her apartment, the stuff that she couldn't live without. She prepaid a storage for like a year, and then she just took all of her savings and started to travel, started to write, and started to take jobs while she was overseas.
Well, I think now more than ever, it's doable. It's something that other people, to be worldly. I remember that was a word used typically for people who had the capability of traveling the world and were able to experience other cultures
but
and other
it required
and other
a
places.
lot of money.
Yeah, it did. And now it seems maybe it probably does require still some money, but now it seems it's doable. People have figured out a way to make money on their way, such as writing for different outlets or directly working in the area wherever it is that they're going.
Well, I think that the technology probably has a lot to do with it, because now you can work virtually in a lot of jobs. But I'm curious, and the people that do you think that they have some commonalities in terms of, the type of person that's doing this?
Some of the people I can absolutely tell you they're very self-motivated. Mm-hmm. They're not afraid to go out and do stuff on their own. They're people who deal with adversity well. Many of them are people who work in communications or as bloggers or as writers. Some of them are literally people who said, okay, I'm going to quit my job. I used to be a teacher, or I used to be an executive of some sort, and I'm going to quit my job, and this is what we're going to do for the next year, is just sort of travel until we figure out what we're going to do.
What the next step is.
What the next step is, or that is their next step, because this is something that they're like, let's do it before it becomes an impossibility.
Mm-hmm. And that's, again, that's the thing, I guess, when you do that thing, it is a risk, because, we're so it's so ingrained in us that, for us, it's, to be successful looks like this. You need to have this number of cars. You need to have a house that looks like this. You need to have these wear these name brands. And so it's a risk. You're kind of pushing that all aside, and you're saying, I'm just going to take what I can fit in my little backpack, and that's what I'm going to do.
But here's the thing. I think some of them once they do this, some of them are looked as like, wow, you are, you're like
a risk taker.
Yes, like, but, you're seen as something different.
Absolutely. And there's a certain amount of envy. I mean, there's a couple that I know that they started a world tour, and they sort of stopped in Australia and New Zealand and then didn't move from there. And all you see are these photographs of them having this wonderful time, which is, of course, what we all do on social media. But what happens? You're not taking work. You've sold all your stuff. You've gone through all of your life saving. You come back and you have to start from zero. And that's the thing that most of us have been trained that is the end of the world. If you have to start from zero, it's the end of the world. And all I can think of is, can you imagine, I don't know about the courage, but the boldness to go out and to just cut your ties and say, I am taking a step out of the regular rat race.
Yeah, I'm pausing.
I'm changing the rules for me, and I'm going to do this because this is going to make me happy.
Well, you're right. Maybe
permission
to do it.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know if you would come back necessarily in a year or two and say that you have no experience, because as it turns out, your angle might be different. Your approach to things are different. The way you view things are completely different. And
I don't know about no experience, but I am saying,
But I do understand what you're saying. You now, all of a sudden, all your network that you had, the contacts that you had, you're remaking them. You're reintroducing yourself.
X person sold her house. X person sold their car.
You got to come back.
They got rid of all the stuff, like all their furniture,
if they come back,
and, other stuff like that. It's like having to start over from all of that, from the accumulated comforts that they had. That's an interesting prospect. With a clean slate.
And I wonder, like, is it more of a us as Americans that we think, we kind of we don't do that. We typically don't go and immigrate to another country and have to start from scratch. We generally, go down a path where we're going we get our education, we get a job, where we build our career, and
if we migrate, we're migrating within the United States. So it's like we migrate to Florida, we migrate to New York, we migrate to California.
But you're on a path, you're getting married, there's like these certain milestones that you're touching, and this is kind of veering off that path and saying, okay, well, maybe, not that the path isn't for me, but maybe I want to explore what else is out there. And I just want to live a little outside of these boundaries that I've been told that this is what my life should be.
Okay. I'm sorry, Sandra.
No, so it is about taking a step out and saying, okay, this looks different. Just look at the freelancer economy, the freelancer. Okay. What I do for a living is I provide contracting work for other people. So basically, I do work for people that usually I used to do in an office and etc. I don't have a manager's position. No one's going to give me a raise or a promotion or, any of that stuff. What success looks like for me is completely different. Mm-hmm. And so how do you, I guess the question is, so many more people are taking a step out of like here's the template, and this is what lives are supposed to do, and this is the path to the American dream, and saying, yeah, mine's different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine has sand on it instead of yellow bricks or whatever. Mm-hmm. So.
But do you think it's a trend? Because even a few years back, there was that movie Eat, Pray, Love, which is a huge success, and people like. Then it was a saying, like, people were like, oh, I'm going to eat, pray, love, like, I'm going to do me, or whatever that expression was supposed to mean,
Well, I love the way you say that.
These things go through cycles. It used to, once upon a time, joining the Peace Corps was a huge thing, and that's how you went off, and you did stuff for the world.
You did things off the norm, off the grid lines. But I think, would you do it? It's a question now that it should be asked. Would you do it, Sandro? And Juan, would you do it, and where would you go?
Oh, wow. Would I do it? I'm not sure. I mean, I think that the fact that I haven't done it doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't do it. But I can't really envision myself doing that. And maybe that's why I brought the topic up. Uh-huh. The idea of absolutely getting rid of most of what you own, which is, I get attached to inanimate objects on top. That'd be the hard thing. And stepping away from all of the people that for at least a year. And then so people would say, well, but with social media, it's not like you're going to lose touch with them, so...
No, you literally lose touch with them, because you can't touch them. You can't see them physically.
But I think that what appeals to me most about it is going and seeing the sights and the sounds and hearing the sounds and experiencing the new places. I love to travel. I really, really do. I love to travel. But there's something about the idea of living out of rented space and out of a place where you can't really get comfortable for months on end that just makes me feel like I'd get tired of it.
I think for me, it's the familiarity of things is I think what I would miss the most is I'm familiar with faces, places, and even, like my house, even things, there's a comfort when I walk in the door to not only my house, but my bedroom. And I sit and I not look at my things, but I look around me and it's comfortable. I know my neighbor. I know my street. I know my city. I know my state. There's a familiarity there, but would I do it if I had the opportunity? And yes, only if I can come back to the exact same world that I left.
But Houston has become a city where a lot of people never leave their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And some of it has to do with traffic, and some of it's just the sheer size of the city. I do know people that, unless it's going to work, they don't leave their neighborhood for anything. My family lives in this area. I do all my shopping and all my entertainment in this area. I may go to work in a different part of town, but that's all I do. They don't go to the other side of town for nothing. They don't go to other neighborhoods for anything. That's just what I do. And the idea that maybe I'm becoming that set in my ways is a little scary.
Yeah.
But to me, I think there's a sense of adventure and there's a sense of discovery in doing that. I mean, it's not a high thing on my priority list. But if I had the opportunity to do it, I would want to go somewhere like I've always wanted to go to India. I want to go somewhere where there's nothing, where it's very I don't want to say third world, but I mean, I guess that's the best explanation.
Exotic. The word you're looking for is exotic.
But, where you kind of are forced to get out of your comfort zone and do things that, you take for granted, we take for granted. So that's where I would want to.
So for our audience, if you had the opportunity, or if somebody came to you and said, I am selling all of my worldly possessions, my car, my house, my condo, whatever, and I'm taking I'm going traveling for a year, and all I'm going to do is try and extend my money as much as possible, budget and travel. Would you actually go with them? And if so, what would be on your list of places to go? Thank Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Little Radio Show. We invite you to check out our iTunes and our Stitcher channels and leave us a rating or a review. You can find the link to both channels at thelittleradioshow.com.